So we're going to take a look at how we change CAD objects while being authorized to make changes inside of the 3D Experience platform. We've looked at creating change actions and adding items. Now we're going to look at how we make actual changes to affected items. So here we've got a change action. We've added a part and a drawing. We've added some reasons why we might want them to change and what we want to happen once the change action is approved and completed, which is to release both of these items which are currently in work. So what we're going to take a look at is opening these items up in SOLIDWORKS directly from the change action, making the design change while being authorized to do so, and then releasing the change action to release these affected items as well. We've got a approvals route, which means that we can prescribe who is notified and authorized for checking and reviewing these changes. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to select both of these items and then simply drag and drop them from here into SOLIDWORKS to open them both up. So once they are open, before we start kind of doing any work on them, we won't just be able to start making changes and then save them back to the 3D Experience platform if these objects are being managed by a change action, which they are. If they're being managed by a change action, the platform needs to know that you kind of have the authority to make changes to these items. So to do that, we've got this hard hat symbol here inside of the SOLIDWORKS integration. We can click on that, say we want to work under a change action. It will then bring up change actions that you have access to. So there's the change action that was created, so we can simply select it, click OK. And you can see how the hard hat icon there turns yellow. So that indicates we are now working under change. What's very important is that when we're finished making changes, we need to turn off the working under change icon. Otherwise, any other items completely unrelated that we might open would accidentally get added to the change action under its scope as well. So we've got to be careful to turn it on, but just as careful to turn it off when we're finished as well. So in this case, let's go ahead and finish making our changes. So I'll lock the bracket so I have right access. And the purpose of this change was to edit the sheet metal thickness slightly. So we'll put 0.5 millimeters there. Click OK, so that's our change made. We'll also go ahead, update the drawing. Make sure that that is all rebuilt. So once our drawing is updated, what we can go ahead and do is we can now save our changes back to the platform. And we can see we're saving underneath the active change. And for the items to be approved, we want to be able to freeze them as well before we carry on with the change action and put it into approval. So directly from here we can say change the maturity to frozen. And then finally, as we mentioned before, make sure that we turn off working under change. And we can close these items down. So the rest of it, now that we've made the changes, if we go back to our change action and we just refresh the change execution widget, it's just going through the approvals process. So we can now put the change action into approval. So we can see it's now an approval, and if I go to the approvals tab, the approval route that we chose is now has been kicked off. So this is an opportunity for us. So if you've been assigned a task, we can go ahead, review the attach files, add some comments, and either reject or approve as necessary. So complete the first stage here. And then the final approval, which will then fire off notifications to the stated parties such as manufacturing and quality in this case. So once this is approved, we can see the notifications popping up in the top right hand corner there. The change action will be completed as well, and once the change action is completed, the attached items will be released. So if we just refresh the change action widget there, so we can see the items have been released. Furthermore, if we go into the properties of any of the impacted items, what we see is that under the Change Act tab, we get a full traceability and history of the change approval process there. So who the approvers were, date stamps, any comments as well. So that's how we can have items modified under change and be authorized to make changes.